What's up, YouTube? 496 size Chevy. Just kind of want to vent a little bit because I'm seeing some bad stuff going on right now in the world. It's been around for quite some time. Anyways, I'm sorry about that. Somebody was trying to call me or something, so it messed up my connection. I just want to bring something to the table real quick, and it's kind of on my heart because just watched a friend of mine go through this. Heroin is becoming the biggest drug right now on the street. It's been around for quite a while. It's been one of the strongest things that you can get on before you hit your last part of your drug addiction. But right now they're mixing this stuff called fentanyl with it. My wife is a nurse, so I asked her what it is, and it's basically like stuff that they give cancer patients that are like in a lot of pain and on their deathbed, where they're now crushing up fentanyl and they're putting it into heroin. I live in a part of Louisiana. It's about an hour away from New Orleans. The part I live in is not a real bad area. It's mostly country, but it's got a lot of drug activity that goes on around here, and it's starting to take over people's lives. A good friend of mine, his name is Hunter. I used to ride crotch rockets and motorbikes and four-wheelers with him. Woke up Saturday morning to find out that his fiance went into his bedroom to wake him up. I believe for work or for something. Maybe it was just time to get up. And he was dead. He had only been on drugs for, I believe, maybe two and a half weeks, and didn't know his limits, didn't know his boundaries, and his body, he apparently didn't know that he had a weak heart, and he couldn't handle it, and stopped his heart immediately. So why I'm talking about this is just because that it's not just him. Another guy that I know that I'm not, really good friends with or close to or anything, is actually on it right now. And he has done a lot of stuff to people. He's broken a lot of lives because of the fact that he's borrowed so much money from people and stolen from people. He's young too. I'm 29 years old. I think this boy is 21. He's known around the area where I live only because of the fact that he does a lot of buy-sell trade. Now people don't trust him anymore. He's actually in jail right now. He just got locked up a couple days ago. He's 21 years old. It's crazy because this dude had a brand new Camaro SS. He had a really good job. He had a lifted up F-150, newer body style, lifted up with a bunch of sound system and stuff, and it was pretty cool, because he was one of the bass head people or whatever in our community, and he gave all that up for heroin, for a needle in his arm, for however long. I've never done heroin, but for as long as he, the fuzzy feeling from what people say you get from doing it or whatever, he wasted all that, he let the Camaro go back to the bank, let the Ford go back to the bank, stole from his mom, stole from his stepdad, who was a cop. Just, oh man, it's horrible. It's taken over. It's taken over big time. And I know this little speech that I'm giving is not really going to do nothing. It was just, I felt like I needed to vent because of the fact that this drug is so horrible. It's ruining lives. It's taking people from their family. It's killing people. I actually just watched a documentary about 30 minutes ago when I got home from work about it and everything. And it's just like, until you actually see what it does, until they start, it's not really, you don't really sit there and think about it and everything. Even if you don't have anybody in your family going through it, it doesn't really sit there and hit you hard. But when you start watching these videos and you start watching these, these girls and boys that are 20, 21 years old, it's even some older, it doesn't matter how old you are, and your mom and dad are having to bury you. And the documentary was actually about this girl who had a little boy, and the little boy was only like a year and a half old, and she was holding him in her arms sleeping when she died, and her mom was calling her phone trying to wake her up to check on the baby the next day, and she wouldn't answer. So her mom drove over to the house and walks inside. The little boy's just asleep on her chest, and she's blue. She's dead, and she had a needle hanging out of her arm. And it's just, when you see that, it's just like, it makes you want to throw up because it's really sad and sick. in Louisiana, they just passed a law. It's actually really weird because they passed a law on Friday, but because this boy died on Saturday, I don't know how it's going to work out. But now in Louisiana, if somebody dies from heroin, if they can track the drug dealer, it's actually murder now. I think that's awesome. A lot of people are disagreeing with it. Oh, that's not fair and everything. And I'm like, man, you're killing them. When you give this drug to somebody, you have to know deep down inside that they possibly might not make it. You're just trying to make that dollar off of them, but they might die. And so it's I don't know if it's like manslaughter or homicide. I think it's a homicide. I think that's what they're charging you with or something. I'm not very sure, so don't hold me to it. But I know they did pass a law where you will be charged and go to jail if somebody dies from doing it, much less if you get caught selling it or whatever. It's I don't know. But something needs to be done about it. It's hard to get it off the streets. I mean, it's just so you can get your hands on it. So, I mean, people start off doing like pills and stuff, and they move their way up to the heroin because they can't get their high no more from their pills and everything. I understand if you gotta have pills for a medical problem, but at the same time, it's like, man, I'm not gonna lie though. I mean, I can't say anything. I've had a rough patch. A lot of my YouTubers that follow me know back in 2012, me and my wife had separated for about a year and a half, and nobody saw a lot of me, and I wasn't on heroin, but I was doing some stuff that I knew that I never would have dreamed of that I would have done because I was hanging with the wrong crowd. But yeah, so it's just really bad, and it's taking people away. I mean, this guy was the same age as me, was into lower trucks, was into rims, was into sound systems, bass, riding motorbikes, going fishing, going hunting. He was into all that just like all of us, and he's dead now because he chose to stick a needle in his arm to get a little buzz, a little high, and it's just sickening. I mean, it's tearing people apart. I mean, now we got to bury a 28-year-old, all because, 3 days ago he was, alive. He was working. He was on the river, just a couple days ago, and now he's dead. So it's just really hitting home real hard. So just want to kind of put that out there. I don't mean to rant on and everything about it. I just hope that people will see how horrible this is and just take from what I told you, just in my small hometown. I mean, this is a small town where I live, and people are just dropping like flies, just dying left and right from this heroin. It's horrible. But anyways, just kind of wanted to vent and throw that out there. It's just kind of big pill to swallow, when you got friends dropping left and right because they're choosing a needle in their arm over, a freaking beer. I'm not saying go get drunk and drink and drive either because that's illegal, but I mean, crap, I don't really don't have nothing against marijuana either. I mean, go smoke a joint. I mean, you don't hear of anybody overdosing from smoking weed or getting in a car and killing somebody from smoking a joint. I mean, go freaking smoke a joint. If it ain't strong enough, freaking drink some beer with it or something. I don't know. Just stop sticking the needle in the arm. I mean, this is ridiculous. People are dying. People's family members are having to bury their kids. I don't know. Sorry that I'm ranting on everything, but until the next video, 496 Chevy signing out.